In this first session, we will be covering the main features of medication management in the hospital. This is a critical area for hospital administration because pharmaceuticals is one of the most expensive areas in hospitals, and because of narcotic regulations and so on, it's important to keep track of narcotics within the facility. And so my colleague Hadi will be taking us beginning from the doctor's desk and the doctor's order of a pharmaceutical for our patients. And he will then take us through first an inpatient workflow and then an outpatient workflow. And he will be touching on how these transactions get taken over to the supply chain management side and the finance side of the hospital, and right through the final dispensing of the medication with the patient. In the second session, we will be covering revenue cycle management within a hospital in a very comprehensive way. And then in the third session, we'll be covering supply chain management, human resources in the hospital, and some other specifics as we have time. So I'm going to put myself on mute now and introduce my colleague Hadi, who will take us through this first session. We anticipate this session to take 2 hours. We'll then take a 30-minute break, and then another 2 hours on revenue cycle management, another 30-minute break, and then this third session on supply chain management and human resources. So Hadi, welcome. Thank you for agreeing to this long day of demonstration, and I look forward to hearing your demonstration. And I'm going to put myself on mute now. Thank you.
Thanks, Mr. Skip. Thanks, John. It's my pleasure being part of this. And welcome everybody for this presentation. I think it's more than me, it's the attendees who should be, for this long session of presentation, they should be ready for it. Okay, fine. As Mr. Skip was explaining, the first session we will be focusing more on the closed loop medication management. We will start from the doctor's desk and see how the medication orders are captured. Then we will walk through an outpatient pharmacy workflow, followed by an inpatient pharmacy workflow, covering the medication administration by the nursing staff and everything. So to say that how we really mean closed loop medication management in terms of the features what we have in the system. Okay, so to start with, to save time, we have already logged into the doctor's login, and we will start from the CPOE screen from the medication ordering frame. Okay, so this is the CPOE framework. What you are seeing here on the screen, I think everybody is able to see the screen. So here we have this particular screen. The physician will have access to this particular screen, whether he is there in sitting in an outpatient clinic, or whether he is doing rounds in the ward, or whether he is in a critical care unit. All that he needs to have access is this particular screen, and all the functionalities required for the physician to place an order, review his previous order, review results relating to lab or radiology orders, anything for that purpose. All of the aspects is covered within this particular screen, and he may not go back and forth accessing multiple menus like this. We were very keen in coming up with a design like this to ensure there is no reduce as many clicks as possible for the physicians in accessing the required information. Okay, so now for the demonstration purpose, we have already created a medical record number, and also we have done the inpatient admission for that particular patient. So we will access that particular medical record, and they will start from there. Okay, a sample medical record number, what we have created. Okay. Fine. So as you can see, once you have keyed in a medical record number, the related information about that particular patient is picked and then shown. You have the name and age displayed on the top, and the current active encounter for the patient, whether it's an inpatient encounter or an outpatient encounter. If there is more than one active encounter, you cannot have two inpatient active encounters, of course. If at all he has different episodes with different specialties, as far as outpatient is concerned, then it will list all the encounters the patient has visited already or which is active, and you can choose which of the encounter against which we want to place the order. Okay. So here there is we have chosen an inpatient encounter. And against this inpatient encounter, if the patient has pre-defined diagnosis during the outpatient itself, the diagnosis is added against that particular patient like. So we can have all of those diagnoses listed here. So we support all the international code standard as far as diagnosis, capturing of diagnosis information is concerned. It can be either ICD-9, CM or AM, ICD-10, CM or AM, or SNOMED, whatever the standard which is adopted by the hospital. We can have the capability to upload those respective standard into the system like. Okay. So this is on the diagnosis front, and you can have more than one multiple diagnosis also as to what is primary, secondary, and other conditions the patient may have. All of those aspects we can have it here. And also the next thing is the allergy front. Okay. So when it comes to allergy, again, can we open the allergy screen? Okay. So here, as far as capturing of allergy is concerned, we support capturing drug allergy and also any other types of allergy which is required like. But we have made capturing of drug allergy as mandatory because that's a very critical information which is required to check any possible interactions the patients may have, drug to allergy or any other interactions. Okay, and as far as the allergy pick list are concerned, the system has the capability to integrate with any third-party drug database depending upon the geographical location or the hospital which of the drug database they feel it's deemed appropriate. They can sign in with that particular third-party drug database, be it First Data Bank or Micromedex or MIMS or any other database available for that matter, and we as a system has the capability to capture the information available within this interface, within these third-party databases, and upload it into our system, and all the possible interactions and everything is provided based on that. Okay, and here the allergy pick list, whatever you are seeing here, is picked from this third-party drug database. Okay, and also we capture the severity. It's not just the thing, we also capture the severity, and we also have the provision to easily search and add any type of allergy, like it can be an ingredient, it can be a particular brand, or it can be anything. It's not just medication name alone. So there is a different standard applicable as to what needs to be captured that can be set in here. Okay. Now that there is vitals captured against the patient, there is diagnosis information captured against the patient, there is allergy information available. So these are all three critical information which is required, without which the system will not allow you to proceed ahead with a new order, like be it medication or lab or radiology, any order for that purpose. System will not allow you to proceed without specifying this information. Even if the patient does not have an allergy, we have a provision to say it has no known drug allergy. So meaning we ensure that the physician has inquired the patient and the allergy information is updated based on the counseling the physician had with the patient. Okay, so now for demonstration purpose, we will start capturing few medication orders, primarily to show the different types of orders the system can capture and how detailed it is as far as capturing of these orders, and also the various possible drug interactions the system supports. Okay, so we'll start with, say, ciprofloxacin acetyl tablet. So there are many ways primarily choosing a drug. One thing is you can go by the generic, which is what we recommend. The physician to place the orders based on the generic and the pharmacies to deal with the brand. But if the hospital policy is that the physician themselves can place an order based on brand, then that also can be configured within the system. Okay, so once the order is placed, system checks for any possible interaction. So in this case, since the patient is allergic to penicillin and the order placed is ciprofloxacin acetyl tablet, system checks there is an allergen group ingredient check interaction. So drug to allergy interaction, and what is the type of drug to allergy interaction, and what is the details of that particular interaction like. These informations are picked from the drug database, as I said. And also based on the severity what we have specified while capturing the allergy, we can either allow the physician to stop, meaning if it's a severe alert, system will not allow the physician to proceed at all. If it's a moderate alert, it will allow the physician to proceed after capturing the reason. If it's not mild alert, it will just allow him to proceed after providing the message like. Okay, so those things also we can configure in the system as to what you want the physician to, how you want the physician to react based on the severity like that. Okay, and you can control also. If to avoid alert fatigues, we can say that only severe alerts to be popped up to the physician and mild alerts should not be popped up like. These are all hospital policies based on which we can control as to what types of alerts are shown and when and to whom like. Okay, and again once the medication is captured, and here in order to demonstrate we will proceed ahead assuming the physician sees a reason in placing this particular order. Based on the order, the respective dosage details and the frequency, everything will be picked and then shown automatically. Okay, so that's order number one. Let's continue with the other order, say acetaminophen. So we'll order it, say, for as a painkiller. Okay, so once you place the order, here again system checks for any possible interactions based on the medication orders already placed. Like, and if there is anything, it will prompt. Okay, you can save and then proceed. So here again you see it picked different dosage and the frequency and what is the duration like. And the duration here again, it can be based on the what you call inpatient or outpatient. We can set what is the default duration. And it also, system also takes into consideration the patient age and gender factor also while determining it. So all of these are configurable data and it can be picked, and no need for the physician to repeat this information for each and every order. System will default the information, and if it's necessary, it can always update the information as it feels appropriate. Okay, we'll save and proceed. Okay, say neomycin tablet. Or oral solution, whatever it is. Okay, so here there is a drug-to-drug interaction. So already you have placed an ciprofloxacin acetyl tablet as an order for this particular patient, and now you are trying to add neomycin tablet, which has a drug-to-drug interaction with this particular medication. So, and what is the details of that particular interaction details also, it's picked and then shown here. And it's not just that system takes into consideration the current orders. It takes into consideration any medication the patient is on currently. Say the patient has visited some other physician in an outpatient clinic, and there are few medication which have been prescribed for the patient, and the patient is on that particular medication. And now that he has admitted under some other specialty also, and here we are prescribing some medication. So system takes into consideration any medication orders placed by other physicians also, whatever medication the patient is on currently, and it checks for any possible interactions and alerts here. Like here, if the doctor feels like, no, it's dangerous to proceed ahead, he can cancel this and then skip the order. You cancel it. Okay. So, or again, as I said before, we can specify the reason and then continue also. However, okay, we'll save, and we'll just 2 more orders to demonstrate 2 other features. So we'll have an warfarin tab. Okay. So once you choose the medication, again system picks the standard dosage and frequency. Cancel this. Or continue. Specify, say yes and continue. Okay, so here if you see the dosage is picked and then shown here by default as 3 mg, which is the standard dosage for warfarin, and one-time dose. Like physician say by mistake when he was just pressing the tab or when he was trying to change the dosage, instead of 3 mg he modified it as 30 mg. These mistakes happen during data entry. Like so, and the frequency also, supposing he is trying to change the frequency to say 3 times a day, and then save this particular order. Okay, the rest of the information he leaves it intact, whatever is the standard. So here it checks for the dose range check. So if you see here, the system takes into consideration against the patient age. So the patient is a 68-year-old male. So for the default range or allowed dosage for a 65 to 110 years is 0 to 8 mg only per day. But what we are trying to prescribe is 60 mg, so 30 mg times 2. Okay, and the maximum dosage allowed in a single day is only single dose, meaning we can prescribe only once daily. Whereas here we have tried to prescribe twice daily, and system checks for that also. Like this, there are 8 different types of interactions, dose range checks, maximum dose, minimum dose, number of times the medication can be taken in a day, the total duration, the total strength the patient can take over a period of time. So all of these factors system checks, and also there are 3 different types of checks available. One for adult, another for neonatal for 2 to 12 years and a third one pediatric, and third one for the neonatal, wherein it takes in for newborn babies, it even takes into consideration the gestation period of the baby, and accordingly provides appropriate alerts. So it supports all types of dose range checks covering from babies to adults. Like, okay, so we'll cancel this. So we see there is something wrong. The physician can cancel it and then modify the order. To save time, we will just skip this. We can see how we can capture an IV order. Like when it comes to inpatient, there is always possibility the patient needs some intravenous medications, which needs to be, some medication needs to be administered as IV like. So how these orders can be placed? There are two types of handling this. One is there can be pre-packed IVs which is available, and another is a physician can prescribe custom IV orders like. So here is specifying the base solution, say normal saline intravenous as a base solution for the order. Immediately system recognizes that what the physician is trying to place is an IV order, and it asks whether you want to add additives to this IV. And you see here it has a multiple entry provision with an additive grid like, wherein we can go and add as many additives as it's appropriate for this particular order. So we will add potassium chloride IV as one of the additive. Say the order dosage is 8 MEq, and also magnesium sulfate as another additive with order dose of say 4 MEq. So like this, they can also place orders like this. What is the base solution? What is the additives? Everything they can specify. Okay, so now we will save this order. So these are all the various types of basically orders we want to demonstrate as far as the capturing of orders in CPOE is concerned. There are various other features which is available as part of CPOE to facilitate faster entry and facilitate the physician with appropriate decision making like. Okay, so we will cover those aspects towards the end if time permits. Now we will sign off from this particular patient. So any change which is done in the order profile of the patient, be it a change in medication order or a new order placed or any update to an existing order, as long as there is a change in order profile, so he needs to confirm that with so that's what we are doing by the sign off provision. And at the same time, we don't allow the physician to access more than one patient at the same time. So at any point of time, the physician will have the provision only to access one patient. This is again for patient safety purpose. So when he just opens 2 or 3 different windows to access multiple patient information at the same time, there is a possibility that he confuses the orders with multiple patients. So as part of JCAEA patient safety norms, we have incorporated those validations into the system to ensure patient safety. Okay, similarly, we have the provision for capturing lab orders, radiology orders, surgical orders. It's not just the medication part alone, but being our focus of today's demo, being a closed loop medication management, we will just stop with the medication orders. And as I said, if time permits, towards the end, I will try to show you the other aspects as well. Okay. So now that we have seen the ordering side from the physician as to how a medication order looks like, now we will sign in as a pharmacist, first an outpatient pharmacy, and then walk through the outpatient pharmacy workflow. Then we will move on to the inpatient pharmacy and walk you through an inpatient pharmacy workflow. Okay, so we are signing off and signing in as a pharmacist now. Okay, so for our demonstration purpose, again here we have created another medical record, and we have placed certain orders as to again demonstrate the various aspects involved in a pharmacy workflow. in our case now first the outpatient. So based on this, so in an outpatient pharmacy workflow, basically we can have a very simple process of just based on the order, just dispensing of medication based on an order, or we can have a more detailed process also depending on the staffs and the requirements of a particular hospital. Like, so the functions as far as outpatient pharmacy is concerned, primarily the process flow is divided into 4 major steps. The first step is the verification, meaning the medication orders placed by the physician is automatically listed and populated in the outpatient pharmacy desk. A senior pharmacist who is responsible for verification will be reviewing that particular order, specify the dispensable against that particular order, and decide on the refills that the entire duration is going to be dispersed in one go, or there is going to be multiple dispensing or multiple refills against that particular order. So all those aspects and verification pharmacists will decide. So once the order is verified, the dispensing duration is arrived, and we know what dispensables we are going to use, the next step would be to do the billing and then ensure the financial aspect of it is covered. Then there is filling, there is checking, there is issuing. So as we move forward, I will explain each of those processes. First, we will start with the verification process. Okay, so I can choose a particular drug, either all of the drugs I can choose together or a particular drug alone. And if you see here, I mean, we have keyed in the medical record by default, and based on the medical record, any pending medications which is to be verified alone is listed here. Like, but what are all the patients? There can be many patients also. So you have a provision to view as to what are all the patients for whom medications are pending to be verified. You can pick a patient from that particular list. Once you pick the patient, the respective medications for that particular patient will be listed, and the window what the pharmacist will have also is similar to that of physician, and all the information as keyed in by the physician they can view within the pharmacy. This is again for patient safety purpose, to ensure that the necessary information is available for the pharmacist for verification needs. Okay, so here based on the order, which is by generic, the available dispensable, there can be only one dispensable available or multiple dispensable in different strength and different brands also may be available. So how many ever dispensable which is available against this particular order will be picked and then displayed by the system automatically, and they can choose among the various available dispensable if there is more than one available. Otherwise, if it's only one, they would have left with no choice to choose that. Okay, so once they choose that particular order, particular medication, okay, so you can see here. So the available stock, if any, like what is the available stock for this particular medication. So if it's, and if there is multiple brands and multiple batches available, system picks and then shows that automatically, and you can choose among from them as to which batch or which brand you are choosing like. Okay, so once you choose the particular brand, and system automatically calculates as to what is the required dosage based on the order and what is the total medication with total quantity which needs to be dispensed like. So in this case the duration is 30 days. So either they can dispense the medication for the entire 30 days. Okay, in this case that's what we are trying to do. Or if you want to dispense now only for 10 days or 15 days, you can specify the duration and then generate the label for that particular duration alone. The remaining period will be listed as pending refill. The patient can come after 10 days or 15 days without seeing the doctor. They can come to the pharmacy directly and collect their refill. So this information again you can default say that at any point of time we cannot dispense more than 20 days or 30 days, depending upon the stock availability. We can set various validation rules in the system, and based on that, system will automatically arrive here. Like, okay. So what is the number of doses? Everything will be calculated. So we will save the see here. You see here it's split into two. So total 120 dose for 10 days it's 40 dose, and for remaining 20 days it's 80 dose. And what is the next refill date? Everything is picked by the system, like, okay. And also the directions, as far as you can always print a label here as to how the patient needs to take the medication. Say take, in this case, we have a direction in English and also local language. Local language you can either Arabic or any local language you can configure in the system, and the system will generate the interactions based on that. Sorry, label administration instructions based on that. Okay, so we save this. So this completes the verification process. It doesn't take this long. As I was explaining the various aspects, it looks like as if it's a long process, whereas it's straightforward and very simple process, like. Okay, so we'll just do few other, just to show the different types of dispensables handling, like. Okay, so in this case there is an ranitidine tablet which is ordered, and if you can see here in the dosage column, 1 minute, the dosage please. Okay, if you see here in the dosage column, there is a difference in morning dose and evening dose. So there is a cases like the patient doctor may say take 1 tablet in the morning, say 150 mg in this case, and 300 mg in the evening. The tablet may be drowsy or something, so he may wants to, the doctor may feel we can increase the dosage at night and reduce the dosage in the morning. So in cases like that also we can capture. So it's not just twice daily, we can say morning dose different and evening dose different. And here we will choose the dispensable, and as you can see here there are various different dispensables available in different strengths which is available. So you can choose one among them as to what we feel appropriate. So in this case we are choosing an 150 mg, and there is only one brand and lot available which we are choosing here. Okay. So and we will dispense, we will generate the label, and by default it will take, being 150 mg as the strength of this medication, system will automatically take as 1 tablet for the morning and 2 tablets for the evening, and it will calculate the total number of tablets which needs to be dispensed, like. So the total it is 60 doses, out of which 30 doses it will be 1 tablet, 30 tablets, and remaining 30 doses it's 2 tablets. So altogether it's 90 tablets. Okay, and also the directions will be generated accordingly. Okay, so we'll just take another sample and then we will move on to the next step. So in this case, a warfarin tablet, so the order, it's an 5 mg order. So whereas we don't have a 5 mg tablet available, like. So there is a 3 mg tablet available and 2 mg tablet available. So against a single order also you can choose 2 dispensable, like 1 3 mg and another 2 mg, summing up to 5 mg, like. This again system handles it to have multiple dispensable against a single order from the physician, and then there will be 2 different labels, one for each type of medications will be generated, and the stocks are updated accordingly, like. Okay, so if you can see here it's a single refill, but against that there will be 2 different dispensables listed, like. Okay, one for 3 mg and one for 2 mg. And the instruction also, administrative instructions also will be generated accordingly. Okay. Fine. So like this, we can continue with the verification process for all the medications, and whatever alerts the physicians saw in terms of drug to drug, drug to allergy, and what is the reason the physician override that particular medication. All of those aspects they can see it here. So the pharmacists also will know, will be aware of all the interactions which is thrown to the physicians, and also he can also know what is the reason the physicians have override that particular order line. Okay, so this is the verification process. So once the verification is done for all the medication, okay, the next step would be to for the billing. But this is again, as I said, the process here can be easily tailored as per the requirement of the hospital, and there is no hard and fast rule like we need to go through this. If you are following this detailed process, the patient safety and all of the issues can be ensured. Otherwise, there will not be any issues if you are skipping any of this process line. Okay. So all these medications, once it's verified, it gets listed in the billing department for billing, and also the stock updation and the batch and the lot number details can be captured as part of the process itself. So either barcode support is also there. So the medication is picked and there is barcode tagged already. They can just scan the medication and system will automatically pick the respective lot information, and it will continue with the billing process like. Okay. So it can be the same user who is handling the billing, or it can be different users, one handling the verification, another handling the billing. And depending on who has the authority to do verification and billing, the system will automatically combine these steps to, not to keep closing the screen and then coming back. Like once you do the verification, all the respective medications against that verification can be combined together and complete the billing process for that line. And as we said, the inventory aspect is also handled related at the time of billing. So the various orders, it's picked, all the unbilled orders, meaning the verified medication, the respective details is picked and then shown. You can decide as to whether you want to issue all the medication or only certain medication, depending upon the financial coverage and the patient willingness to pay. Okay, so in this case we are choosing all the orders and say move to bill. The dispensing quantity, everything will be picked automatically based on the verification. And here we can generate the bill and then save here like. And also as far as the pricing is concerned, we can either have a fixed selling price associated with each and every medication, or it can be a markup on the cost price. You can say that all the medication, the cost price can be captured at the time of like inventory itself, and based on that cost price, whatever markup we have defined in the system will apply that markup, and then the pricing will be arrived. Like, okay. So this is primarily on the outpatient pharmacy workflow, and there are many aspects also apart from this as far as the outpatient pharmacy is concerned. If you want to have a more detailed process after billing, we can capture the necessary information relating to filling process, checking process, and actual issuing of medication to the patient by educating the patient as to how he needs to take each of these steps. If you want to capture, there is provision to capture those steps also. Otherwise, we can stop with just verification and billing. Okay. So this is a high-level overview of our patient pharmacy workflow. Now we will move on to the inpatient scenario. It's a more detailed and complex one there. So we will move on to the inpatient. Okay. So here again, to facilitate demonstration, we have added a few medications already, and so it will be there in the verification, and we will see how the process is different here. Okay. So as far as inpatient pharmacy is concerned, depending again upon the hospital process flow, it can be either the medication ordered by the physician, like whether if it's ordered for 7 days or 8 days or whatever is the duration the physician has prescribed in his order. The entire duration of the medication can be sent to the ward from the pharmacy, or it can be unit dose based dispensing, wherein from the pharmacy every 24 hours or every 48 hours there will be medication will be prepared and sent to the ward as to whatever the patient requires for the next 24 or 48 hours alone. Okay. And the third process will be, there will be certain medications which is identified as ward stock itself, wherein the medications will be available in the ward. From the time the physician places an order, the order information is displayed in the ward directly, and they can pick the order from there and then dispense like. And the way they dispense also, there are various changes as far as the inpatient is concerned. There are Pyxis machines available which helps in auto dispensing of medication like, and we have the capability to integrate with this auto dispensing systems also at any level, at the ordering level and at the dispensing level, administration level. At any level, we have the capability to integrate with these systems and then send appropriate information to the system to help dispensing. Okay. So we will start with the inpatient verification. So here again we have some few orders, and each of these orders we have placed here. There is a purpose to demonstrate a certain feature system. Okay, so we'll do the verification one by one. Okay, so now before coming here, I need to explain the code definition part as far as IP is concerned. Just leave the screen and can we open the code definition? Okay, so I was telling you initially, like as far as the inpatient is concerned, there are many ways of dispensing the medication. One of the aspects is the dispensing through like as an every 24 hours or scheduled dispensing, like what we call it as cot dispensing or unit dose dispensing like. So the medications are primarily categorized into two. One are unit dose medications like tablets, capsules, and other vials and those aspects. And another one is the IV medications. When we say IV, it can be IV large volume or IV syringe or IV piggyback, depending upon the type of medication. Okay, so all those medications are categorized into IV. And for each of this particular type of medication, say for unit dose, the hospital may have multiple pharmacies also, one for outpatient pharmacy and one for inpatient pharmacy, and within outpatient and inpatient pharmacy too, based on the specialty or critical units, the units they serve, there can be a separate pharmacy handling the critical units alone, or a separate pharmacy handling nephrology and urology alone, like that. It can be specialty based or critical or non-critical classification based. It can be any means, just to share the workload depending upon the size of the hospital. The information, the number of pharmacies with which they operate can be many. So that's where the location comes into. For each of the pharmacy which is available in the hospital, you can have a separate dispensing schedule defined in the system. So in this case, I am choosing there is assuming only one pharmacy, inpatient pharmacy, and we can have a different schedule defined separately for inpatient, and also different schedule separately defined for weekdays like. So from Monday to Friday, we can have a different schedule, and Saturday and Sunday, or Friday and Saturday, depending upon the geographical location, whatever is the weekend, we can have a separate schedule like. And also we can also have a separate schedule based on the location where the patient is in. So we can say every Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, only we dispense medication to male surgical ward. The other alternative days we supply for other wards like. So this is also we can define. So we have the flexibility, and what is the cart starting time, what is the closing time, what is the cutoff time, everything here you have the provision to define, and also a different workflow for unit dose and different workflow for IB. You have the provision to define that as well here. And these workflows are configurable in the system. What is the IB workflow? What is the unit dose workflow? Like this, we can have various workflows defined and attach a particular workflow to a particular pharmacy and schedule. Okay, this is cart definition part. So this is a configurable feature what we have in the system, by which you can determine as to how medications are dispensed from inpatient pharmacy to ward and WAR and other critical units. Once this is done, based on this definition, at the time of verifying the order here itself, so for this patient, these are all the medications, and all of these orders are already verified, but I will just edit a few of them and then show you how the various types of orders are handled here like. Okay, so I'm just editing one of the order which is verified already. Okay, so ranitidine, it's a tablet, it's specified here as every 7 hours. So in case of inpatient, the order type can be frequency also like this, every 5 hours, every 7 hours, like that. So if when we have a frequency with an odd hour like every 5, every 7 like that, then there will be the timing at which the medication is administered will vary for every alternate day because of since it's an odd hour like. So that's why you are seeing here the label type here as unit dose daily, meaning the medication, the label will be generated by the system with the administration timing specific for each day like. So for every day the label will be, new label will be generated by the system with the administrative timing for that particular day. So we'll choose another order and then show you the other label types available. Okay, so like this, what we saw here is unit dose daily. Similarly, depending on the medication order and the dispensable chosen, system will identify the label type as either unit dose single in this case, because there is no complexity in this order. It's only 250 mg, and the medication dispensable also it's 250 mg. It's 1 tablet per dose, and there is no change in the administrative timing also. It's 3 times daily, and there is standard administration time. All these again, it's definable in the system as to what are all the standard administration timing. So these things are everything is same. So the label type is picked as unit dose single, meaning there will be only one label generated one time for the entire duration of that particular medication to be administered with respective administration timing. So why it is critical to have these different types of label is the label will have the patient name, the details of the patient, the details about the order, and also the administration time as to what time that particular medication needs to be administered and what is the dosage. The dosage in terms of physician, like say 50 mg, and also dispensable dosage. So here the order says 50 mg, but what is dispensable is one tablet. The physician sees it as mg, but administrative dose it's one tablet like. So the nursing staff will be seeing both the information as to what is the orderable dose, what is the pharmacy dose, and what is the dispensable dose like. Okay, like this, depending on the type of order, there are unidose single, unidose per dose. If the dosage and administration varies for each and every dose, like we saw the morning and afternoon dose, right? So in that case, the dose needs to be administered in the morning is different, dose needs to be administered in the evening is different. So the label generated will be unit dose per dose and so on. So similarly, we have different types of label to handle the IV also. We'll just see the IV alone, how the calculations and everything is done automatically by the system. So we saw there is a base solution, which is normal saline 1000 ml order, to which we added a potassium chloride 8 MEq and magnesium sulfate 4 MEq. So for each of this, and in this case the order is for 1000 ml bag, whereas the available bag, single size bag here is only 500 ml. So they have chosen dispensable with a 500 ml bag, and accordingly the other medication orders are automatically calculated and then shown. Can you show the drug information? Okay. Drug information, please. So based on the 500 ml bag, the 2 MEq per ml and 4 MEq per ml, the dosage for the additives is automatically recalculated, since the order is for 1000 ml. Now that we are choosing only 500 ml, and what is the respective dispensing dose, and how many vials it's required for each and every dose, and what is the stock which needs to be updated, and what is the bill which needs to be updated. This is again critical. So if you are taking, for example, certain medication, the stability period for that particular medication is not will not be there, and certain medications will have more stability. We'll just scroll down to display the pharmacy dose and bill dose, and I will explain that part. Okay, so depending upon the stability, even though for this particular order they may not use the entire ampule or entire vial, only partially it will be used. Say in this case, say 0.5 vial is what is required. Still, what is the stock updated will be like 1 vial or in full like. So that is again you can configure in the system depending on the stability. You can say, even if I am using 0.5 or partially a certain vial, what I need to reduce from the stock is full quantity, and what I need to bill the patient, how we want to bill the patient. Sometimes you may say that reduce the stock by only partially, but bill the patient as 1 vial also. This again it's configurable. It's not just clinical aspect, the inventory related aspects and also the billing aspect is handled to the minute level possible to arrive at as much perfection as we can. Okay, to truly to the word closed loop medication covering all aspects. Okay, so none of this calculation needs to be done manual. It's all automated by the system, and it is does based on the configuration what we can do against medication master and drug master. Okay, and based on this, since it's a 5 ml bag, and whatever is the rate specified, you can specify what is the rate in which the order needs to be administered. Can you show me the order, please? Close this. I will close this additive. Okay, So here we have specified as 250 cc per hour. So meaning a 500 ml bag will be administered in 2 hours like. So accordingly, the frequency in which bag and IV bag needs to be prepared and sent to the ward again will be arrived automatically by the system, and accordingly the labels will be generated. Okay. So all those minute aspect related to calculations and dispensing schedules, whatever it's required, it will be done by the system. And the major difference what you see from an inpatient pharmacy workflow and outpatient pharmacy workflow is, in an outpatient pharmacy, the refills will be generated for the entire duration. Say the order is for 30 days, one refill, one label will be generated for 30 days. In this case, for each and every dosage, it's the track is there. If you say 8 days for twice daily, then it means 16 doses which needs to be administered for the patient. For individual dose, we can track as to when the medication was dispensed, when it was when it reached the ward, when it was administered to the patient, whether it was administered or not. All of those aspects we can track. So it's dose-based tracking as far as the inpatient pharmacy is concerned. Okay. So now, once the order is verified, I said like in the system we have configured the unit dose based dispensing of medication, like meaning say every day at 4 p.m. or so there is a cutoff time. Say today evening 4 p.m. I will prepare the medication which is required for the next 24 hours and dispense it to the ward. So like this every day I will be keep preparing the medications required for the next 24 hours for each of the patient in various ward and dispensing it like. So in between, during the course of the day, from morning till 4 p.m. or so, there can be new orders which is coming from the physician. That's what we saw. So once these orders reach the pharmacy, they do the verification, arrive at the label type, classify it as unit dose, IV, and all of those stuff. Once that is done, it goes, the system automatically will generate the label for whatever medication which needs to be dispensed immediately, like, because we are not going to dispense for the entire 8 days. There is somebody else who is preparing the medication which is required for the patient for the next 24 hours. So say in the morning 10 a.m. or so, you are verifying the order, system will decide and calculate as to what are all the doses required from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. and it will pick and then show as part of what we call it as front desk filling. Okay, so these are all hospitals whoever is following this practice, they will be able to appreciate these workflows as to how it will help streamline their process flows and how it can cater to the different pharmacies who are working on different functions within the inpatient pharmacy like. Okay, so I will close this and then we will show you the front desk filling, how the medications are listed in the front desk filling and how the label is generated like, and then we will move on to the other steps. Okay, so once this is the unit dose front desk filling screen. So here, based on either you can key in a particular medical record or based on the login, all the pending medications which needs to be filled. So we have done the verification. The next process is to do the filling like. Okay, so all medications which is pending for filling will be listed here. Again, as I said, it's called as unit dose front desk. Why it is? Only those medications till 4 p.m. which needs to be dispensed alone will be picked and then shown, that particular dosage. So it's individual dosage based, not the entire order. So all those tablets with the details, so you can click on a particular medication, say click to view on a particular order details, and from this screen also they can view the complete order details for that against a particular order. So you can see a more detailed view of that particular order. They can have it from here. So either they can print the label one by one, fill the medication and dispense it, or they can just select all of these orders together and then print the label like. So both the options are available. It all depends on the workload and who is doing it like. Okay, and again, like whether you want to monitor the various steps involving filling, checking, and dispensing. So once one pharmacist will do the filling, another will cross-verify that the label and order whether the medication picked is right, and then it will be dispensed like. Whether you want to follow those detailed steps or just stop with filling, that is again we can configure in the system as to how much detail you want. Okay, we just look at the labels. So the different labels we were talking about, unit dose, single, unit dose, per dose, and all of those type labels. Okay, so now the front desk is done. Can you just open the front desk alone, choose the other patient what we have and just show one of the labels. Okay, so we'll just choose one of the order and then print the label and then see how it is. So sample label like. Okay, then we will continue with the other process. Okay, and these labels again it can be customized, and the label printers, the printer routing as to where it needs to be printed. You can have like just one or two label printers for the entire pharmacy, even though there are 4 or 5 people working on. So the routing for which label printer and all. So this is the sample label. So you can see here the ward, the floor, and the bed number of the patient, the prescription details, the date, and whether it's in unit dose or cart, from where it is printed, the medication detail, the number of dosages which is packed along with this, what is the frequency, the timing as per the definition, the dosage information, as I said, in terms of order dose and as well as the physician one like. So all the information necessary, and it's also barcoded to facilitate administration and various other process involved, like not to go and key in the medication each and every stage. Once the label is printed and it's pasted and thing, for subsequent process involving checking, verification and all of those stuff, they can just scan this label and then proceed. So now just close the screen and continue with the process like. So now this completes the front desk filling part. Now we will move on to the cart opening. So as I said, it's through 2 different persons. One person who will be looking at any new medication orders which is coming into the inpatient pharmacy. So based on the new medication orders, as and when it's received, immediately after being placed by the physician, they verify it, and any medication which needs to be dispensed immediately, that alone they dispense like. Okay, so that will be a certain staff's task, and there will be certain other people who will be involved in a day-to-day basis in preparing the unit dose medication, meaning the every 24 hours, the next 24 hours, whatever medication which is required, they will be preparing and then sending it like, okay. So once in the morning when they come, say 6 a.m. or 7 a.m. they come, they will choose the day, the start date and time. You see here, since the cutoff time here is 10 a.m., it's picking and showing the start date time for the cart and the end date time for the cart, and the various wards like individual the patient ward, all the wards it's listed. You can choose a particular ward alone or choose all the wards. So based on the selection, here we will choose all the wards here. Based on the selection, system will consolidate and then show you for each medication, each of the tablets or each of the medication as to how much quantity is required for the day. It's not just for one patient. So acetaminophen, say Tylenol tablet, how many tablets in total is required? That may be like 10 different patients for whom this medication is requested for. So what is the number of tablets which is required to enable us to fill for the next 24 hours, and what is the stock available currently, and whether or not stock is available, how much shortage, all of those information they can view from this particular screen itself. Okay, so that they can plan before they start the work for the day itself. They can plan as to whether they need to get some items to be transferred from the warehouse to enable them to complete the filling for all the patients. Okay, so once this process is done, so they can just click on open. So they are okay with this. So the cart is opened, meaning all. So it means they started preparing the medications for this for that particular day. That's what it means. Okay, and they have verified and ensured the stock related aspects. Okay, so once the cart opening is done, we'll close this. Okay. The next step will be the cart filling. Like we had the unit dose filling, which is for any medication which needs to be dispensed immediately alone. When the person who is responsible for the cart filling, when they log in into the cart filling, all the patients with their respective orders and individual doses will be picked and then displayed here like. So they can go into the shelf and then start picking the respective medication for each and every patient and for each and every dosage here. So here again, depending on the workflow, there are many options. You can have prepare one single printout for the total pick list for the day, or you can start filling by each and every patient, or if you have robotic machines and auto dispensers, like this process, manual process will not be there. So once the order is verified, the required list will be sent to these particular machines, and based on that they will prepare the medications, and the labels and everything will come out from this machines itself. So where there is no automated filling process, or where there is no robotics involved, then we will have this process wherein they can go by each and every medication and pick every patient and pick the respective medication for that particular patient. Okay, here again the labels will be generated depending upon the various label types we have defined against each and every type of medication at the time of verification, whether it's single or bulk or whatsoever. Okay, so and it's a lengthy process. It's not just that. To save time, I'll just quickly explain the process various aspects involved alone. So this is cart filling. So once the cart filling is done, we'll just close this. No need to save and all. So once the cart filling process is done, then again, as we spoke for outpatient and inpatient, like we can either have a cart checking process, meaning somebody is filling, somebody is doing the checking. They can automate the checking process within the system so that it's tracked and logged as to who filled this medication, who verified this medication, and so on. And end of the day, once they have completed all the filling, we have something called cart closing. So they say that we have completed the filling for that particular day, and the medication is ready to be dispensed to the ward like. Okay. So that is again we can have as a separate step, which is cot dispensing, to notify the status that that particular cot for the day up to that particular ward has been dispensed or not. So to track as to when it was dispensed and when it is received in the ward, those steps also can be automated within the system. And we have something called final cot update. This is for like during the process of filling, there may be some updates which is happening in the system. Some patients might have been discharged, some patients might have got transferred from one ward to another, and so on. So those aspects, any changes in the order which has happened after we have done the filling, system will pick and then notify the user so that they can do the appropriate changes in the cot like. Fine. So this is related to the unit dose cot filling process. The next thing is IV. As far as the process involved in IV, I will just explain the process alone. I will not get into the detail. We don't have something called opening. As you can see here, there is nothing called IV cot opening. What is the reason behind here is there is a change in process itself as to how an IV medication is prepared. As a best practice, it's always better to prepare an IV medication based on the medication like. Say for example, for the same, there are more than one patient for whom potassium chloride and magnesium sulfate needed to be added as an additive with a certain concentration to the same base solution. All these IV medications which needs to be prepared for these different patients, if it is done by one person himself, then it will ease the process and it will have better stock control also. You can open one vial and use it against multiple patients and then throw the vial, because the stability period of the vial and the expensive nature in which it's very critical from the stock management perspective and the financial perspective also. Okay, so that's the difference basically. Other than that, the filling, checking, dispensing, all other process, it is the same. Okay. Apart from all of this, there is something called extemporaneous drugs, wherein based on the physician order, the medications may not be available immediately, like maybe we need to alter the medication, say for pediatric dose, we need to dilute the strength of the medication also, something like that. So we have something called compounding and preparations or extemporaneous preparations, they call it. So we have a provision for that also. Can we open that? Just screen, compounding and preparation. Okay. So here, as far as compounding is concerned, there are two different processes. One is like we can have define the different medications which is usually ordered for compound and what is the additives, how it's usually prepared. Those details we can specify it already in the system, and we can define those. And whenever there is a need for preparation for this particular item, based on the order from the physician, system will identify that this is a compound medication or extemporaneous, it requires an extemporaneous drug preparation. So based on that, it will queue for the whoever departmental staff who are involved in this. Can we just pick something which is already there? Say captopril oral solution. So something we have defined already. It's a sample. Okay. So based on that, okay. So once that particular order as to what is the total volume you want to prepare, what is the shelf life for this particular medication. Since you are preparing, you want to give a lot number and expiry date and which from the additives required for this particular item, from which substore basically we are picking this so that we can update the stock for that particular item, all those details. And based on this, you can have this predefined for 1 ml as to how much the additives required for different medications we can define. So based on the volume you specify, system will automatically calculate the concentration and the dispensing units which is required to prepare this 20 ml of medication, right? And it will update the stock. When it comes for billing, once this medication is prepared, there will be a stock number attached to this solution as such, I mean captopril oral solution. So whenever it's dispensed and billed, it will be billed based on this name, not on individual line. And however, there are many ways of handling the financial aspect as to how do you want to bill, whether you want to have a fixed price set against this, or you want to calculate the price based on the actual additives which is used to prepare this particular medication, and also add a preparation cost to it. So those things are very flexible. We have a flexible way to define the fee for each of this, and based on that the bill also will be calculated and the stock also will be updated. Like, so we handle these provisions also. So okay, this is on the pharmacy side, the different types, unit dose, IV, compounding, and so on. Now that the medication is prepared and the medication is sent to the ward to be administered to the patient. So to complete the loop, which is the last step in the process in a closed loop medication, which is the administration of the medication to the patient. So we will look at that MAS, medication administration system. Okay, so we will log in as a nursing staff. Okay, so we are logging in as a nursing. Okay, so the nursing staff again, they have various provisions in the system when it comes to medication. So they will have a provision to place an order also. Sometimes we call it as telephone order or verbal order. So the physician can instruct the nursing staff to place the order just in case he's not there in the ward or in the clinic to place the order on his behalf. Or sometimes the patient may overcome some situation for which the nursing staff can call the physician and ask the patient as to what medication needs to be given, and the doctor may advise it over telephone also. So we call it as telephone or verbal order, and there is a process flow associated with it as to who got the instruction from the patient, and there will be some other nursing staff who will be verifying that, and the doctor, when he comes to the desk after within a certain period of time, whatever the orders which is captured by the nursing staff will be picked and then shown to the doctor to ensure that the nursing staff has transcribed whatever he or she said, and only the proper dosage and medication has been given to the patient. So that's a separate flow, handling the telephone verbal order, telephone order and verbal order. Okay, so here we will focus more on the administration aspect. So each nursing staff, depending on the location he or she has logged in, system will pick her name and the ward to which he has logged in, and what is his or her shift timing. You know, it can have a standard shift timing. Depending upon the current time, we know what is the current shift which is running, and for that particular shift, for that particular ward, all those patients who are staying in that particular ward, for each of the patient, the medication needs to be administered, will be picked and then shown here. Here again, you can see it's a more detailed information. It's not just the medication name. We have a more detailed information, and also in order to help manage the list properly, we have tailored few work list or few queues, what we call it as separate queue for each and every step. Like doctors, they have their own queues configured in the system. Pharmacists, they have different queues configured, and similarly for nursing staff here. So they can, by default, the queue will be due for administration, meaning for them to know all the medications which needs to be administered now. So at any point of time, they want to view the previous administered drugs or whatever it is. They can always go to this queue thing, click on this, and see the various other options available, like say all doses, and then search for it, and all doses which is there for the day for that particular shift, irrespective of whether it's already administered or not, will be picked and then shown here. You see the various other dosages which has been previously administered. Also, just in case they need to update the status or review, so they can use this work list primarily to filter and query the different dosage details. Okay, so now we'll go back to the due for administration itself and continue on the process. So here, for each and every dose at the time of administering, we have like this 5 right check, right? The right dose, right patient, right medication, right strength, and one other I couldn't remember. So there are 5 right checks which needs to be done to ensure that the right medication is given to the right patient at the right time. Sorry, right time is what I missed. Right medication is given to the patient at the right time, the right dosage and the right route, basically. Okay, so for all of those purposes, we have necessary provision in the system, like the system supports the patient label, the barcoding and scanning of the patient label. So we can know that whatever patient for which we are marking here as administered, it's the same patient to which the actual medication is being administered, and based on the order, the respective dispensable and everything is picked, and we can administer what is the status here. We can, some of the times it's not always the nursing staff will be in a position to administer the drug to the patient. There may be various reasons why it's not administered. So, or in case of IV, when it is partially administered, wherein it needs to be taken 2 tablets, only 1 tablet is given. So things like that, various status we can update. This started status is primarily for IV. Once you start an IV, it runs for 2 hours, right? So in those cases, we don't call it as administered. We just say started, and later on we can update it like. So each of these steps and each of these status as to which medication and when it was administered can be captured in the system. And as you can see here on the bottom, the legends. Click on the process, click on the process. The respective whatever you have chosen more than one as a sort of confirmation before you update. Okay, system throws the medications you have chosen, it's updated. Now if you pick the medication which has been administered already, it's not listed here, only the remaining doses which needs to be administered is picked and then shown. Now if I go back and then choose the all dose and then query, you can see the various status symbols. So here it's saying meaning administered, and if similarly for not administered, partially administered, the various status involved with the legends, respective legends, is automatically picked and then displayed here for them to easily know and review the status. Okay, so this is one aspect and again the stock related aspect as to when exactly you want to update the stock, whether you want to have your stock updation based on the administration record, like as and when a particular medication is administered alone, you reduce the stock, or based on based on the filling itself, we need to I mean at the time of dispensing from the pharmacy itself, we need to update the stock. We can configure in the system accordingly the stock, and also the creation of charges for the billing purpose also can be configured. and the system triggers the respective transaction for the RCM and SCM module to update the stock and for the RCM module for the financial charge. Okay, so this is primarily what we wanted to show as part of the closed loop medication management, covering the physician order, then an outpatient pharmacy workflow covering the verification and billing aspect, and also an inpatient pharmacy workflow covering the various types like unit dose, IV, and compounding and preparation, and also the medication administration record from the nursing staff. Okay, so I will stop the presentation here.